Hey everybody, welcome back to another Blade XLord video. Today we're going to be talking about the new Knight's Order content that just dropped. But before we get into the video, I just want to remind you all that we've got a Mysidia gaming Discord. So come check us out. We're always talking Blade XLord, and we've got lots of really solid members that are giving some great tips that are actually informing my videos quite a bit too. So a lot of learning going on, a lot of kinship, and it's just been a really good time so far. So you can find that link in the description, and then otherwise let's get into the video. Okay, so we've got our new patch just dropped. I went on in and I've already tried out a little bit, and I tried out the Knight's Order. I looked around a little bit just to make sure I got everything ready for this video, and I looked at the banners as well. So we're going to go ahead and quickly check in the banners, but you can remember that I did do a banner video already to talk about whether or not you should pull on the Mirabelle banner. But basically, the gist is that if you are building a fire team, if you are close to having enough units for a fire team, then this is the banner for you, because there's actually two banners, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But if you are nowhere close to a fire team or you're broke like me, then it's time to save. So we'll quickly take a look here at the event. So we've got our Mirabelle banner right here, and this one has an offering rate up on Mirabelle, and it's actually quite high relative to the usual rate ups, and then also her weapon, which is a really solid weapon. Both have some good rates. Everybody else is normal. And then if we go over to the fire element units and weapons, this one has a little lower rate up for the fire units, but they are increased over all the other units, as are the weapons. They are increased over all the other weapons. So if you want to fill out your fire team, now's the time, and there's going to be some more incentive to do that as well. But personally, I mean, even if I wanted to, I couldn't do it, so we're going to skip that. But we are going to talk about the Knight's Order, because this is a really interesting piece of content that I'm really excited to play more of, and it's actually going to be kind of familiar to the last event that we just had, because you are going to be fighting a boss over and over to earn rewards and buy stuff in a shop. So that is the similar part, but there's going to be a way cooler shop and way more cooler stuff on the horizon, because as you can see, we have trials and we have Decatrials. So right now only the trials is available, but in 3 days we're going to have the Decatrials, so we'll set the whole thing up right now in this video. So for the Knight's Order, the trials, you're basically trying to score as highly as possible and earn a bunch of rewards and buy a bunch of sacred treasures, and you're going to use those in the Decatrials. The sacred treasures are basically consumable items that you can use in battle, and they're going to help you do as best you can in the Decatrials. And the Decatrials are no joke. Some of the current stuff you can buy with the Decatrials currency includes actual SSR units, so it's definitely something that we want to look into. So otherwise, we're going to be getting all these omen stones, nuggets, and gems to be used in the trading post for the regular Knight's Order, and that's what we're going to use to buy these sacred treasures. But for Decatrials, we actually want to collect Knight badges. That's the currency that you get here, and you're trying to get rated as highly as possible. There is actually a system. If you can become the Night Lord, which is the #1 ranked person, I think you actually get a say in some of the stuff that happens in the game, like when a banner might drop. I can't remember what exactly it is. There's like you get some sort of input into when things release, or like the order that they release. At least that's what I was reading online. But otherwise, you can also get some weapons and just a lot of really solid items. So let's take a look at, actually real quick, we'll take a look at the Knight's Badge store, because they actually do have it open here. We can take a look, and here's Lily, which is one of our units we can buy, and she's gonna pop up here in a second. Whoa, she's interesting. So she is a tank, dark tank, and she's got some really cool skills that she can use. There's actually a lot of power going on here as well, and she can lower the opponent's dark resistance, which is just really solid for a mono dark party. And she also has some stuff to boost her own attack at the cost of her HP. Otherwise, she's just got like a really solid kit here. So she's quite interesting. I'm really excited to see what she looks like if someone's able to get that amount of Knight's badges to buy her. Otherwise, there's a lot of really good rewards in here, including some awakening stuff, some leveling stuff, and other good things. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the meat of the video, and that is the trials. This is what you can do right now. So when you enter the trials, there's going to be a whole scene that drops the backstory of the trials, what they are. Basically, their knights take these Decatrials, these regular Knights Orders trials, to become stronger and become a Decanite. So Ride learns all about it, and if you want to know more, you can watch that scene yourself. Otherwise, we're going to have some new missions for the Knight's Order. So there's going to be some limited time ones, and that's just defeating the boss Ishtar. If you beat him, let's see here, 25 times, you're gonna get some summon tickets. That's pretty alright. Daily tickets, I already did my mission, but you can get some daily rewards for beating him as well, so that's cool. Otherwise, we've got the same details that they had before, so there's not much here. The trading post, however, is very cool. There's a lot of good stuff. You can get 200 Lord Stones, some energy potions, some training manuals, awakening materials. You can get silver, steel, and gold pellets, 2 of each, so that's really solid. This is the easiest way to get these that we've seen so far, although that 50 of these omen, whatever this top omen tier thing is pretty tough. But then there's some summon tickets, and here's your incentive to be building a fire team right now, because you can load up on awakening materials. If you are at the stage where you're farming awakening materials, I don't need to tell you how hard it is to get these large crystals. The drop rate is low, and it takes a long time to get the amount you need, especially at that LB4 range. Otherwise, we can buy some summon tickets, and we can even buy a guaranteed SR Plus summon ticket. And these can be used on banners, don't forget, so that's really awesome. And then at the bottom here, we have a bunch of sacred treasures, and all of these do different things. There's so many, I'm not going to go into them all right now, but just for an example, this one conjures a large field for 15 seconds, where stat buffing and debuffing effects are greatly increased inside. So they're actually really cool. Like there's one it's like, oh, create an area that everybody inside gets healed. So if you use the pull together command, you can bring everyone in and then heal them, or you can increase your attack. You can do all this sorts of stuff. So this is going to be really interesting, and I'm sure I'm going to have to look into making a video about that and for the Decatrials after we learn some more about them. But for now, we are going to take a look at what the actual event is. So we'll come back to these ratings in a second, and you can see my highest rating is 4-star right now, which is actually not very high. So when you enter here, you're going to find that there is a beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert level for this event. And when you beat the expert, advanced, and intermediates, you will unlock the loopable version of these. You're going to want to do everything once, no matter what, no matter how high ranked you are, because you get a first time clear of 10 Lord Stones, and every single Lord Stone counts, especially in this game where they don't seem to hand them out very willingly. So otherwise, you're going to want to be doing the highest one you can to get the best drops that you can, but you want to be able to do it reliably. So we'll talk about more on that in just a second. And then once you unlock the loopable versions, you'll be able to farm event currency overnight and hopefully load up so you can buy out the store like we did last event and get a bunch of really cool stuff. Now, when you complete one of these battles, and you go in, there's a boss and you fight him, you're going to get a rating here. And the rating can go up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stars. So I'm on the lower half here, and the rating is going to give you a certain amount of rewards. It's based on the score that you got. So you want to be scoring as highly as possible to get the most clear rewards. These aren't the only rewards you get for beating the fight. You're also going to get regular clear rewards, but obviously scoring highly is going to be really beneficial. So that's where it comes into play on whether you want to be doing the 80k might one or one lower. Is you want to do the best one you can score highly on. So how do you score highly? Well, that's a really good question. When you're fighting this boss, and what we'll do is we'll just pop into the 40k one, so it won't go too long, and we'll take a look at what the boss actually looks like. So they all cost different stamina, and here's my team that I've been working on, and I need to be working on my accessories a lot more, but we'll talk about that in another video. All right, that was a long loading time, but we're in, and I'm on BlueStacks right now, but I had a long loading time on my tablet as well. So, okay, so I'm gonna auto this boss right now, so I can talk a little bit about it. So here we have Ishtar. He's the big guy, and we're gonna try to kill him. However, there is also this cube over here, and this cube is in a bubble. When the cube gets out of the bubble, he is going to start healing Ishtar, and at this level, I could probably ignore it, but Ishtar can be healed by actually a pretty significant amount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the focused attack. So everyone's going to attack who Lieselot is attacking, just so I can focus down the boss, the ads more reliably. Now, Ishtar is going to do a few things during this battle. He is going to charge up a really big skill to damage everybody. He is also going to apply poison and deadly poison onto your party members, and that is going to be relevant, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But otherwise, he's just going to be this big, thick boss. As you fight him, there are going to be more ad spawns, and those ad spawns are going to heal him more. At the highest difficulty, I found that healing was actually really significant, so I had to kill the ad. However, killing the ad is not always going to be the best decision, depending on what you're doing and how you're trying to earn points. So it's so you can see he actually healed like a nice little chunk there. It actually stopped him from dying. He's just healed another chunk. So there is a, yeah, and you can see so in this case I do actually probably need to kill the ad. So we'll finish him off with Heath Bell here, because nobody can withstand the true Alabaster Dragon Slice. And that's it, so he's down. Okay, so we'll talk more about earning points in a second here as we get through this. We'll go through the win screen here. Okay, let's rank up. Hey, let's do it. Nope, not quite. Very close though. Okay, so this is really important here. I got 4 stars again because I'm really just not a good player apparently. So these are your rewards that you get for your rank. But I am going to also get rewards just for doing the thing. And you can see I even got a treasure, which is really nice. I can use it in the Decatrials, and I got some other tokens as well. So this is all going to be happening when you're going to be auto looping. Now I skipped past it, but we'll talk in just a second here. Come on. Okay, so when you're fighting the boss, there's going to be 4 things that determine how many points you score. The first one is how much break damage you do. So the highest break damage, the most break damage, it's important to be doing as much damage as possible. The second thing is how quickly you beat the trial. So the longer it takes to beat a trial, the lower your score is going to be. The third thing is how many times you've actually broken the boss. So if you beat him and broke him twice, but then beat him again and broke him thrice, you're gonna score more points that second time where you broke him more times. And then finally, the amount of damage that you have taken is going to decrease your score. So if you can take as little damage as possible, that is actually going to increase your score in the boss. From what I've read online, the two most important things to focus on are the clear time and the break damage, and then you can worry about the other stuff later. But if you do want to worry about damage taken, and this boss is putting poison and deadly poison on, it might be worth experimenting with some items that will heal poison, some resistances to poison, etc., because you can take less damage and score more points that way by not taking that poison damage. I would not mess with your accessories though. If you do have an optimal setup for accessories, I wouldn't be putting a poison resist accessory on there necessarily, although everything's worth testing out when you're trying to optimize your performance. So the main things you're going to be focusing on are that clear time and that and on that break damage, and that's why the 80k boss fight might not be the one for you. So to give you an example, it took me 9 minutes to beat the 80k one. I've got a monolight team. I don't have exactly the best monolight team, but still, that's a really long time to complete. So I might be better off on the 60. And again, this is all, I'm trying this out for the first time right now, so I'll do some testing. I'm gonna try to figure out what the best way for me to go is. But in terms of looping, I think it'll be definitely better for me to go on a lower recommended might, so I can just clear it more times, because 9 minutes per clear is pretty rough. So when you click on quest info here, you can actually take a look at all the other people that are clearing it, and there's lots of people getting scores in the hundreds of thousands, 200s, 300s, and you'll see that these are fire teams that are getting pretty high up there. And you can actually look at the party that people used, which is really, really solid, because it doesn't just tell you their levels, it tells you actually their full gear on everybody, and even their accessory loadouts. So this is going to be one of the most useful meta things that we have in global. We can actually see who is successful, and we can see what they're using. So sigil loadouts are going to be really important. For example, this person, oh, it doesn't actually, okay, so you can't actually see the levels of their weapons, but you can see the sigils and you can see what they have. So for example, for this mono light party, you can see that they prioritized the light attack boost the whole way across. And then if we go take a look at this, oh no, this is the light party again. Okay, so that's a light party that did pretty well. Let's go check out this one here. Okay, so here we have a fire party that has a light healer, and this is one of the highest ranks that we've seen. So that's pretty cool. And you can see all these parties, they're maxed out almost, like level 80, level 90, Alicia, all these things. This is going to be pretty important for getting a lot of points. So I definitely need to be leveling up my characters a little bit and limit breaking my characters a little bit. But that's going to be the quick and dirty for this event. So just to summarize, you want to be farming the most appropriate recommended might for your party, and you want to be just slapping the crap out of this boss, getting rewards, buying stuff in the shop, preparing for the knights for the Decatrials. Right now, my priority personally is going to be to buy some of this awesome stuff first, and then I'm going to start worrying about the sacred treasures, because to be honest with you, with my party and my progress, I know that I'm not going to be this top rated person, but I am going to try to do the best that I can and get the best rewards that I can from my account. So that's going to be it. Let me know though if this was useful to you, if you found out some stuff that maybe I didn't, then please, by all means, share that in the comments so that other people can learn from this, and then let me know what you think. One other thing I want to mention with my party, even though we're not the might not be the strongest monolight party, when I did the 80k level, I had never had to worry about my health even once. So I might have taken significant damage points from his big attack, but at no point was I going to die, so that was never an issue. It really is just the clear time that you're looking for. So getting that DPS up, figuring out what your best way to break is, your best way to deal damage is, so just something to consider when you're doing this. Okay, now we're actually done. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching this video. You can show your support with a like and subscribe, and by checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/MysidiaGaming. Until next time, keep it real, Mysidians.